Attorney Tony Buzbee has said he'll be repping over 120 victims in cases against Diddy, and he just dropped 5 more. He also said he has more coming weekly. But in an odd twist today, Tony Buzbee himself was served with an SA lawsuit from a Jane Doe. Begs the question, is Tony a hypocrite? Is he helping? Or is someone trying to shut him up? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and things are just getting more and more complicated. Let's start here. Now, Diddy is now facing 5 more lawsuits. Honestly, I'm losing count. We'll keep you tracked, and we'll go through these lawsuits more specifically tomorrow during our live. Make sure you join us on our lives Tuesday and Thursday. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. But there are 5 new lawsuits. Before we get to the allegations against Tony, let's look at what's coming in today. Now, he said on his own Instagram, which I have to point out, he's very much promoting himself. He very much likes to have the marketing, the PR, and I can't fault him for that. It's probably why he, is doing so well. And it's also, I'm sure, how he gets clients by putting his name out there. And that's part of what he does, and he's allowed to do it. That rubs some people the wrong way, but take that as you will. But here he is saying he has filed 5 more cases today alleging aggravated SE against Sean Diddy Combs. These entities whom have been affiliated with. Several other individuals are referenced in the case filings, but are not at this time formally named as defendants. We'll come back to that in a second. The cases are being brought for conduct that occurred as far back as 2001. The egregious conduct is set out in the lawsuits occurred in New York, Miami. 3 of the alleged cases are male. 2 of them are female. We will let all the allegations filed complaints speak for themselves, and we will work to see that justice is done. We expect to be filing cases weekly, naming Mr. Combs and others as defendants as we continue to gather evidence and prepare for the filings. Now, just again, I said I'd come back to that, but let's not forget, Tony Buzbee is also now being sued by a prominent man saying that he's being extorted, that Tony's out there trying to basically get the payday for embarrassing information. This is something he's pretty much admitted to doing, saying, yeah, embarrassment forces settlements. The system is the system. And an irony of all ironies, Harvey Levin is asking him about the morality and ethics of doing that. And here's what he said.
No, it's a fair point. I mean, the system is the system. It's a gulag, if you will. It's a tough process. And we always make an attempt to resolve these cases without the filing of a lawsuit. That's just what we try to do. And if we fail in that, we're going to file the case and we're going to pursue it with aggression.
Now, the aggression is what the things are getting interesting, is how aggressive is it going? And is it being done the right way is the big question. Now, Tony's responded and said, absolutely it has. We didn't make any even amounts. We'll see how that lawsuit plays out. Tend to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't trust these celebrities either. But at the same time, a lot of these sort of threats out there of pay or else, kind of just feels like extortion. And especially if they're over exaggerating or not telling the full truth. And that's part of the problem with a lot of these lawsuits. It's hard to know what's really the truth because a lot of them are starting to sound the same. And I don't say that because I don't believe them. I'm just saying that I think there's going to be a fatigue from the public and everywhere that, okay, really, again, some of which everybody will just say, oh, they'll believe them all. And some of which will say, this is now starting to get a little too repetitive. Are people jumping on the train to try to get a payday now that Diddy's, clearly in a bad place and targets on his back? That's what we're going to have to decide on a case by case basis. And I will say one of the cases that's come in is, it's horrible. It's horrific if true. And the story goes, because it's hard to sort of read it all in the specifics. I will try my best. It was a stuntman lured to New York in 2001 with promises of a music video role, but then things took a disturbing turn. He claims he met Diddy in a luxury hotel in Central Park for what he thought was an audition. He was offered alcohol, which he declined, but then a Diet Coke. But then the Diet Coke was spiked. He started feeling dizzy, nauseous, and it was too late. And then as he sort of was semi-conscious, he found Diddy behind him having his way. And then he described seeing Diddy's signature chest tattoo, iconic gold cross necklace, as it was taking place. And then his bodyguard and another man in the room joined, all while laughing and flashing cameras. He says he then fled the hotel in shock, leaving behind his prized RoboCop stuntman jacket, which he never recovered. On his way out, someone reportedly taunted him with "Hope you had fun." He went home to use the bathroom, and that's when a prophylactic came out. I guess I can say that badly, so you know what I'm trying to say, which is horrifying. And when that came out, more came out, and he realized he needed to go to a clinic. He then saw a proctologist who repaired his backside with a laser procedure. So this is one of those cases where he does seem to have some evidence. The man sought medical treatment for injuries, including all that. It left him physically, emotionally scarred. If he still has those hospital records, that's going to be some damning stuff. Does he have proof of being there? That's what he's going to need. Now, that's the other problem of like, are these all going to work? A lot of these people are saying these things. Sadly, a lot of them didn't go to the authorities, which I know it's tough. Authorities don't always help, but at least then there's a record, which helps. And a lot of these cases don't have that. So what's going to happen in a court of law? Because now the other side of the coin, Tony Buzbee himself is being alleged of similar behavior. Now, again, is this person telling the truth, or are we supposed to just believe this one? That's where things get wonky here for me. This is a real lawsuit. Now, granted, it's from an ex-client who clearly has some frustrations, some issues about the way that the payments went, etc. She was shorted by millions in a divorce settlement, and now she wants the whole thing voided. So there's clearly more to this case, to be fair. The essay that they're alleging of not even essay, of and other shady practices is sort of what it is. So it's not like a essay, it's just which they don't really get specific in the things I've seen. Is this just a disgruntled client who's now angry? Could this person be paid by Diddy? Because this is the type of stuff that I'm sure Diddy wants out there. Again, this is apparently a friend of Diddy's who's now trying to sue Tony as well. So there's two versions of this story, right? There's the one where it's like, well, yeah, okay, Tony is shady. Tony is out there and, extorting people but legally extorting people that he's allowed. That's one side of this. Yeah, he's a PR stunt. He's out there just trying to get attention, which he's allowed to do. He's allowed to go self-promote. He needs these clients. Obviously, it's all publicity. But that Quinn Emanuel piece, it's definitely making him look bad. It definitely feels like, well, back off our client or else. There clearly seems to be something there, the or else. And the truth is, if the actor, celebrity, whoever is being honest and didn't actually do anything criminal, then I say Tony Buzbee is in the wrong and should pay the price. If the actor really was involved and there's proof of this, Tony Buzbee needs to stop waiting and put those names out immediately. And that's where I will I'll start going where I believe more, because it's all in how Tony Buzbee responds. Because I will be honest, I'm getting frustrated with this. We will name them later. We'll name them later. Okay, well, it's getting later for some of these. When's later? How long are you going to sort of let this sit out in the ether and continue to let this threat linger before you actually start showing an example out of one of these alleged celebrities who are complicit? Why do you keep giving them so long to pay? I get it. There's paydays. That's part of what this whole procedure is. But am I the only one who's sort of like, Tony, all right, you gave him the shot. Now go do what's right and get a civil suit and actually get the money that way, the proper way to prove they're guilty, not just take a payday and let them go hurt others. That's where things are getting frustrating to me. And so every time he's doing this, it starts and we get more and more. And every week we're going to get a press release from Tony Buzbee talking about it. I'm not here to say I don't believe them, but I'm just getting worried. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? I'm getting worried. And now as Diddy's team, or allegedly real people, are coming forward with stuff against him, this isn't helping either. And his own words aren't really helping either. Now, look, I've talked to all our legal experts and people. Tony Buzbee's a good lawyer. The one note I do get is that he's very, it's not that he's wealthy, but he's extravagant in it, to a degree that for a lot of people, it's sort of like, what's going on here? What's this about? Where's it all really coming from? Et cetera, et cetera. And so it does seem like while people respect him as a lawyer, there's a lot of also people who don't as much, or have problems or issues with him and his behavior, attitude, et cetera. Lifestyle is a big question. So he's now in the spotlight. It's not always good when the lawyer becomes part of the story, but it is seem like he's the type of lawyer who thrives on that. And that's part of what this is. Could that hurt the case, though, guys? That's what I want to know. I want to know your theories. Do you full on trust Tony in this? Do you think he's on the right? Do you think someone's trying to shut him up? Could it be Diddy's team? Speaking of which, there are investigators out there talking to influencers. I got something about that. We're going to be doing that later today, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We also got an interview with Precious Muir. It's coming. I've been delaying it just because so much news has been coming in, so apologies to her, but it's a story you're not going to miss. So like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash the like, leave a comment down below, and stay tuned. A lot more is coming here to Popcorn Planet.